Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Bold predictions for this Miami Hurricanes program heading into 2024. Now, I've been very vocal that this Miami Hurricanes team on paper, it's one of the more talented teams that we see not only in the ACC, but in the country. This kind of time period during the offseason, we all get an opportunity to kind of call our shot heading into 2024. Going to give you guys my 5 bold predictions for this Miami Hurricanes roster. Would love to hear from you guys in the comment section as well. We all get the opportunity to kind of plant our stake in the ground, call our shot, fired up to get into it. Before we do it, as always, one massive shout out to the Miami Hurricane fans. It's been a blast talking this program, right? Whether we're talking the 2024 season, whether we're talking the recruiting trail, the Miami fans, you guys continue to show a ton of love, a ton of support. Can't thank you guys enough. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Fill it up in the comment section with some bold predictions. And without further ado, let's get into number one. A little bit, this is quite bold. The Miami Hurricanes, 3 All-Americans in the 2024 season. Now, I think the conversation is what players have the opportunity to become All-Americans. Let's start with quarterback Cam Ward, one of the most talented quarterbacks in the country heading into 2024. He has an elite offensive line in front of him, really talented wide receivers, going to have a very good run game. I think the question with Cam Ward is he going to have the opportunity to put up enough production to become an All-American? I think he's going to play like an All-American, but how balanced I think this Hurricanes offense is going to be, it might be difficult for him to become an All-American based on production. That being said, he certainly has the capability to do so. You got to go to the running back spot. Not sure why this depth chart doesn't have Damian Martinez, expected to be the RB1 for the Hurricanes, certainly an All-American candidate. You look at the wide receiver room, I'll throw out Xavier Restrepo. I have been banging the table that Cam Ward, Xavier Restrepo, you talk about a wide receiver that could fill it up in terms of a stat sheet, the production. I think it's going to be Xavier Restrepo. I think there's a very good chance Xavier Restrepo has over 100 targets in this 2024 season. I think Xavier Restrepo has a shot. And then you look on the offensive line, I don't think it's crazy to talk about Jalen Rivers becoming an All-American. Obviously, Francis Mauigoa going into year 2. There are a couple different guys that certainly could be All-American caliber guys on the offensive line. Then you go to the defense. I think 2 guys really stand out. Obviously, Ruben Bain Jr. going into his sophomore year. And then Francisco Mauigoa, a guy that we just did a film deep dive on. I don't think there's many linebackers in the country better than Francisco Mauigoa. He's going to have a very good defensive line in front of him. He fires downhill. He's another guy that fills up the stat sheet. This is a guy that had over 15 tackles for loss in the 2023 year, led the team in tackles. Those are my candidates to become All-Americans. Now, what 3 are going to get it done? So my bold prediction becomes true. That's the question. If I left any All-American candidates out, I would love for you guys to tell me in the comment section. Going to my number 2 bold prediction, back to the offensive side of the football, and this might be the boldest one I have. All 5 offensive linemen make an All-ACC team in the 2024 season. I think this is one of the most slept-on parts of this Miami Hurricanes team heading into 2024. You ask me why I'm a believer in this Hurricanes team. Yes, I love Cam Ward. Yes, I love Damian Martinez. How they've built this program along the line of scrimmage, that's what really has me as a believer. You specifically look at this offensive line. Jalen Rivers already has been an All-ACC guy, and that's Cooper, All-SEC caliber guy as well. Now, I think the question is, does Francis Mauigoa take that massive step, become an All-ACC guy as a year 2 tackle? You look on the inside, Zach Carpenter. I think this is a perfect replacement for Matt Lee, a guy that's played a ton of football coming from the Big Ten. And then I think the big question is Samson Okunlola, potentially your starting left guard. Does he have it in him to become an All-ACC team? I think you look at every single offensive lineman that is projected to start for this Miami Hurricanes offensive line, and you think they have All-ACC potential. Now, can they put it all together? All 5 of them play consistently enough every single Saturday to manufacture all 5 offensive linemen making an ACC team? That's the question. I don't know if that's ever been done before, but I am very high on this offensive line heading into the 2024 season. Mark me down, first, second, third team. We'll maybe just include honorable mention as well. I think all five can be on that list. Going to number three, and another reason why I am believing in this Hurricanes team, specifically on offense, I think they're top 20, both rushing and passing in the 2024 year. Now, I went back, only three offenses were able to do it in 2023, the Georgia Bulldogs, LSU, and Texas. I look at Miami and say, hey, we feel pretty good about this rushing attack being a top 20 rushing attack that we see in the country, right? Really good offensive line that we just talked about. Mark Fletcher, Damian Martinez, Jordan Lyles getting a lot of hype as a true freshman as well. It is a loaded running back room behind a very good offensive line. We feel good about the rushing attack. Now you look at the passing attack, we believe in it. I think the question is, again, does Cam Ward have the opportunity to put up enough production to be a top 20 passing attack? They certainly have the capability. I think it has more to do with, are they going to throw the football enough to be a top 20 team? This is what makes this offense so special. It's a balanced offense, so many different ways that this Miami Hurricanes offense can attack opposing defenses. You're going to have to load the box to stop this Miami Hurricanes rushing attack. And when you load the box, you give some one-on-one opportunities, whether it's Xavier Restrepo in the slot, whether it's guys like Sam Brown or Isaiah Horton on the boundary. I think Miami going into 2024 is an offense that can attack you both on the ground, through the air, which makes it so hard to stop. I think some of the problems you see with some of these elite offenses, sometimes they're a little bit one-dimensional. You look at Michigan. If teams were able to stop Michigan running the football, Michigan couldn't really attack the deeper third as effectively as I think as a Michigan fan I would have liked, and that caused some problems in specific games. You talk about being consistent every single Saturday, having the ability to be an elite passing attack, be an elite rushing attack. That's going to be massive for this Hurricanes offense in 2024. I think they have the capability to be top 20, both rushing and passing. Number four, Cam Ward, first team All-ACC. Again, going back to why we're believers in this Hurricanes team. I think they have the best quarterback in the ACC. And again, I was going to put him as a Cam Ward Heisman candidate, which again, I think Cam Ward certainly has the capability to be. I just don't know if Miami's going to lean on the passing game enough for him to have the production. But you talk about what has held the Miami Hurricanes back in terms of reaching their potential. They haven't had that elite quarterback. I look at the ACC conference. I like DJU. I think Cade Klubnik takes a step in the right direction. I like Grayson McCall at NC State. There are some good quarterbacks in the ACC. I'm taking Cam Ward to be the best of them. And I think that certainly helps because you look at this roster, I think they have the most talented roster. Now you say they have the best quarterback as well. That's what separates the Miami Hurricanes going into 2024. Going to my last one, and I always try to throw in at least one, kind of what true freshman breaks out. I'm going to go to the defensive side of the football and talk about Zaquan Patterson. There's a lot of really talented true freshmen, right? Jordan Lyle in the running back room, Justin Scott on the defensive line, Marquise Lightfoot, JoJo Trader. I think on a lot of other different programs, those guys certainly could be freshman All-American. I just look at how these teams is constructed and say the defensive line is extremely deep. Is Justin Scott or Marquise Lightfoot, are they going to have the opportunity to play enough as true freshmen to be All-Americans? I think that's a question. I would say the same thing for JoJo Trader, Jordan Lyle on the offensive side of the football. That one really talented true freshman that I love coming out of high school that is also going to have the opportunity to get on the football field a lot is Zaquan Patterson. Now, why I'm a believer in Zaquan Patterson is one, I think from a physical trait standpoint, from a physicality standpoint, this kid's ready to play college football. He's put together. He's extremely physical, can tackle in space. But I think what's going to allow him to get on the field is the versatility. This is a guy that you can play as a nickel corner. You can play as a box safety. I think you can play as a free safety as well, having the different opportunities to get Zaquan Patterson mixed into the secondary rotation, combined with probably the secondary being the least deep team or least deep position unit on this field. It's going to allow Zaquan Patterson to get on the field. And you ask me, who's the most important true freshman to this Miami Hurricanes team in 2024, I'm going to point at Zaquan Patterson because he's an elite football player at a position group that is really the only question mark that we have about this Miami Hurricanes program heading into the 2024 year. So give me Zaquan Patterson emerging as a freshman All-American in the 2024 season. And if you get that, I think that might be the biggest storyline of all 5 of the bold predictions that we just included. We'll cut it there. Would love to hear from you guys in the comment section regarding what your bold predictions are going to be. Appreciate you guys rocking with the fellas. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Can't thank you guys enough for all the support, and we'll talk to y'all later.